Hi everybody, and welcome back to another Q&A. Sorry if it's a bit loud in the background. I have fans on because it's summer in Australia at the moment and it's actually hot. They'll probably just be on permanently to February. So this Q&A is on destashes, what they are and how to go about them. Essentially, destashes are where cloth or cups are being sold by the owner. So these here have all been purchased from the maker, or in these one's case, purchased from the factory, and if they're no longer useful or being used in your collection, you can choose to destash them. I have done a video on the last lot of I destashed my Diva cup because I hadn't used it in a year, and I destashed a bunch of cloth pads that I didn't use. Some of them from actually my favourite makers, but I have quite a substantial collection, and just they weren't being used essentially. I have also destashed 3 cups to my sister, and about 40 cloth pads that I wasn't using and didn't use. So when I initially started my cloth pad journey, I purchased a lot, and essentially realised that some didn't suit me, or some didn't fit me, or some didn't work out the way, some didn't suit my underwear. So more often than not, these could be used or unused. So these two and this one at the back, this Hannah pads, I've never used. The last Chinese cheapies that I destashed, that video's up. You can go and watch it. I hadn't worn either. So more often than not, they either haven't been worn. This has been worn once and never worn again. So more often than not, quite often they are they just don't suit the person, or and so these people destash. So there are Facebook buy, sell and trade sites that are included in this, and I haven't personally been on them. I don't use Facebook because of their misogynistic practices and shenanigans. However, there are sites on there. I believe that there were back in the day some live journal buy sells trade sites, and obviously there'd probably be this type of YouTube section where you could say, hey, I've got these up for sale. To be honest, I think that's possibly why my destash video was I think is one of the most popular videos that I have, and I think that was possibly because people thought I was actually destashing the stuff in the video rather than doing a video on the destash that I was making to a friend. But so when I went to LiveJournal recently, I did not find any current updated pages. So these destashes can be very convenient for both a buyer and for a seller. So as a buyer, you could find them cheaper. You also may find pads from makers who no longer exist and who have closed their shops. One of the most popular ones that I saw a lot of reviews on was Annie Bell's Essentials, and she no longer makes, but she seemed to be a very popular maker in the past. If any of, say, destashes of hers come up, I may actually consider purchasing some of them because, you know, she was a very popular maker and has stellar reviews from everybody. I also own a couple. I own a pad now. I destashed the other one from an Australian maker called Odds and Zombies. I have not found any other of her work or any other website or anything from her site. So I'd probably purchase the last ones that I could find. Her eBay site has been closed down. She doesn't appear to be on eBay. So kind of as a consequence, you know, you can quite often find makers that no longer exist. It can also give you access to prints and shapes and styles that are no longer made by particular makers. So as a seller, it can return some of your investment. So obviously you wouldn't be selling these for the price that you got them, in particular if they are used. However, even if you possibly have purchased them and not used them and they've just been sitting there waiting for you, you wouldn't necessarily sell them at full cost to a consumer. So it kind of does two things for a seller, is at least a partial return on your investment, and it also your destash gets rid of all the stuff that you no longer use or are using. So it kind of recycles those pads back into the economy. It also reduces the environmental impact of you having excessive stuff in your home that you're not using or catering to. So there are a lot of people have concerns with this of destashing, because you don't know about the standard of care or hygiene that these pads have had in their original home. And you also don't know whether the owner of this, or the person selling the pads, is particularly being honest to you. And I understand these types of concerns, because even though, as I've mentioned, these give the seller the return on investment and the buyer cheaper access to pads and access to makers that may no longer exist, it's still there. But most people have concerns. You wouldn't necessarily buy underwear off other people. You wouldn't necessarily go and buy other intimate objects off people. So I don't personally have any destashed items myself, but I wouldn't discount it. I have in fact destashed a significant amount of items to both my sister, a colleague from work, and a friend. Now keep in mind that most people in the community aren't particularly dodgy. There is a video, I think it's by Rosie, I'll try and find it and link it down below for you guys, about her issues that she had with a destash, but this is really the only person that I've seen a video on or heard a video from that had issues with purchasing destashes. Amy Nix also does a very good video on sanitizing pads and the sanitary care of pads. And again, as I mentioned, I don't personally own any destash products. However, I wouldn't necessarily discount it. It's essentially a very, very personal choice. Keep in mind that with destash cups, as they are made of medical grade silicone, they do not hold disease, STIs, or anything like that, and they can be sterilized quite cheaply, easily and efficiently in boiling water. So cloth pads are kind of similar in the sense that you can sanitize them and put them through a hygiene clean process. And while I do understand people's concerns in the fact that they are intimate objects and they have secreted bodily fluids on them, if you've ever spent a night in hospital, I guarantee you would be sleeping in sheets or staying in sheets that have secreted bodily fluids on them. So it's kind of a balance of what you want or what you don't want. Anyway, that's just a quick overview of destashed pads. These 4 will eventually be destashed. This one will be going to my sister, who is a front bleeder, and we'll probably use it that way. But I ordered the cups that I sent my sister. One of them didn't really work because it was really, really like a tough. It was a very rigid cup. She liked the Yuki cup that I sent her. However, she got the Yuki cup small, so she tends to overfill it quite quickly. So I've ordered her a medium-sized black ruby cup, and I've ordered myself one too, so that I will send the black ruby cup along with this kitty cat cloth mouse print for front or back bleeders to my sister, so she'll have a backup with her cup. So that will go to her. These ones I'm not too sure about yet, but you know, at this point they're good to use in demonstration videos. Anyway, I hope this gave you a quick overview. As per usual, my contact details below, or just leave a comment. Other than that, enjoy your day. Bye.